Hi, I'm John Gertz, SETI theorist. In a previous video, I made the case that aliens have not colonized planet Earth very simply because they have no viable way of getting here. Populations cannot travel. Squishy beings like ourselves cannot take the generations upon generations of living within a spaceship to get here with all the attendant needs for food, water, and on and on. Robotic probes, another matter. They don't need life support systems. But there's another reason they're not here, and that's because they have no particular reason to come. If their system is anything like our system, and we suppose that it must be, we have no need to go anyplace else because of the abundance of both energy and materials that we can find right here within our own solar system. So, for example, the sun illuminates Earth with just 1/1,000,000th of the energy. All the rest of that energy goes somewhere else. It misses planet Earth. If we need more energy, we'll harvest it from the sun. So they simply have no reason to come. They've got ample energy and they've got ample materials. From the point of view of materials, just one asteroid known as Psyche is thought to contain at least 1,000,000 times the amount of metals that we've already mined on planet Earth. So where is ET, if not here? Well, very simply, as Frank Drake once observed, they're contentedly sunning themselves in their own solar system. However, there is a big fly in the ointment of that argument, and I don't want to disturb anybody too much, but here it goes. The end of the world is well nigh. Okay, by that I mean planets like ours are doomed. Our sun is the type of star that heats up gradually over the course of its existence. The sun was only about 70% as bright as it is today when the solar system was formed. It gradually, year after year, is getting brighter and more luminous, such that in approximately 500 million years or so, give or take, the luminosity of the sun will have increased to such an extent that it becomes untenable life becomes untenable on Earth. Our oceans will have boiled away. So that might be the prime imperative to get the hell out of here, to get off our planet and onto another planet in another solar system somewhere out there. Well, admitting the point, there's still a preference, in my view, to stay put. Not only a preference, but an imperative. There is no viable escape plan. So what can we do to avoid planet death? Well, one thing, we can move the planet further away from our sun. How can we do that? Well, we could use a tractor, and I don't mean with a chain attached to some bulldozer. Rather, we can use a big solar sail that is attached gravitationally to the Earth, and their mutual gravities gradually will pull the Earth over millions and millions of years towards the outer solar system and hopefully out of harm's way. Alternatively, we can build the types of world ships that I discussed in a previous video that, instead of going to another solar system and taking generations to get there, can simply migrate out towards the outer reaches of our own solar system. We can colonize, if we want to colonize another planet, we needn't go to another star system to do it. We can colonize successively Mars, the moons of Jupiter, Pluto, and so forth. So given hundreds of millions or billions of years of foreknowledge that our star is gradually getting more luminous, hopefully we'll have enough time to be able to move further away from our own sun. Now, what happens at the end of the cycle of a star like our sun is that it bloats out into what's called a red giant and leaves the main sequence. And as consequence, the actual border of the sun comes nearly to the place where the Earth is now, or a little bit less or a little bit more. In any event, whether or not the Earth resides actually inside of this new star or not is immaterial. The Earth where it's sitting right now is toast. So either we move our own planet away from the sun as it heats up and expands finally into a red giant, or we leave planet Earth, go to the outer solar system to places like Pluto, and come back later. Now, what does later mean? Later means that the star reduces in size to a cinder, to a remnant star, what's called a white dwarf, which is about the size of the Earth, but glows very hot with a lot of lethal ultraviolet rays, and that's remnant star, the white dwarf, will persist for billions of years, in fact, even trillions of years. Now, let's suppose that I'm wrong in my earlier assumptions that it's not viable for us to colonize or to travel as squishy beings to another star system. Let's suppose that some of us can make that escape and colonize Alpha Centauri, a planet around Alpha Centauri or something like that. What happens to the rest of us? Surely we're not all going to be able to squeeze into that world ship. What happens to those of us who are left on planet Earth? What happens to the rest of the entire biome, all the lions and tigers and bears, and where do they go? No place. And so whatever you might believe about the ability of colonization, we're still left with the problem of the remnant population. So there's really only three stark choices for that remnant population, or the entire population, if escape is not viable. One, passively succumb to extinction. That's not a preferred solution, I'm sure we all agree. Two, colonize a nearby star system, but that may not be possible for anyone, and if it is possible for some, it can't be possible for all. And the third solution, therefore, that we're left with is to shelter in place, to make the best of a bad situation and persist where we are. Even if aliens do have the technology to create these great world ships that can travel to another star system, it's going to take generations, perhaps thousands of generations of their beings to move from one star system to the other. And sort of like begs the question of if they can survive in a world ship for so long, why don't they just stay here and continue to survive inside the world ships until it's safe to then repopulate the Earth? Because I don't think I quite mentioned that even if the Earth is toast in terms of the red giant phase that our star will enter into, thereafter, after it shrinks down into a white dwarf, the Earth is still there in the same place. And wouldn't it be better to repopulate the Earth, which after all has the exact day-night cycle that we need, 24 hours, the precise gravity that suits us? And wouldn't it be better and easier for us to reform or terraform our own home planet Earth than to travel great distances in the galaxy in order to find some comparable home planet? You know, certain solutions to problems may not defy the laws of physics, but just make no common sense. So, by way of simple example, is it doesn't defy the laws of nature for me to do my weekly grocery shopping in outer Mongolia. It just makes no economic sense. Okay, it's the same situation here. Any solution to the problem of star death and it can be solved more easily right here within our own home system than having to travel somewhere else. Now, there's a big implication for SETI here. Almost all SETI has been based on the idea of looking at stars like our own. Maybe a little bit warmer, like what are called F stars, a little bit cooler, like K stars, or stars like our own, so-called G stars. Maybe a few astronomers have looked at some red dwarfs. We'll talk about red dwarfs in another video. But almost no SETI has been done with regards to white dwarfs. Now, we need to turn SETI on its head and stop looking at stars like our own and focus more on white dwarfs. Why? First of all, they're some of the oldest stars in the galaxy. The average white dwarf today is about 10 billion years old. Because it's about 10 billion years old, any civilization persisting around it is almost by definition one of the most advanced civilizations in our galaxy. By the mere fact that they're persisting around a white dwarf must mean that they can accomplish vast schemes of astroengineering that allow them to make that difficult transition of surviving on a normal star system to one that is now dead or dying. Because of their advanced technology and because of the dire situation that they're in, they will have had to have created tremendous structures that may be detectable by us. And it's to those structures we should look to do our SETI. They may be trying to transmit signals to us per the prevailing SETI paradigm. I don't think they are. They're probably not. But what they are doing is creating structures that may be detectable, or we may be able to find evidence for them around white dwarfs. So let's turn SETI on its head, stop looking at stars like our own, and start looking at white dwarfs. That's my message for today. Thanks for listening and viewing this video. Let me again remind you that my website is johngertz, JOHNGERTZ.com. And at my website you can find links to my peer-reviewed published papers and more information about myself. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.